What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kev on Stage, and it's time for Dear Kev on Stage. Dear Kev on Stage, I'm a young lady in my early 20s, and I have been saved for 3 years. During this time, I refrained from dating, but I recently decided that I'd like to start dating again, casually. I would like to know your opinion on dating guys who may not be saved. This interests me because I very, very rarely come across guys who are saved and of interest to me. Is it best to limit myself to church guys or to broaden my horizons? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for asking me, a saved gentleman, if I may say so myself. Well, here's the thing. You know all those times I told you guys when I was fornicating and acting up and all that stuff? That was the time where I considered myself saved and just backsliding. So at this time, I was in the church every Wednesday, actually every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Bible study, another Bible study, choir rehearsal, Sunday morning, Sunday night. I was in the church all of the time, and I was still out there having sex all the time as well. So there's the problem of just because somebody's in the church doesn't mean they're living right. Just because somebody's outside of the church doesn't mean they're living wrong. So there's the problem. Now, like I said in another video, you can't marry somebody expecting them to change. You can't marry somebody expecting them to stay the same. So ask yourself, what are you getting yourself into? Now, I'm not saying you're going to the club like, hey, what up with you, thug? I'm looking for somebody who ain't saved. I'm over here twerking. You know, you ain't got to be like that over here twerking and asking for a thug. But I see your problem. Like, a lot of times there's ladies at my church back home in Washington that were like, all these guys are whack. And I couldn't really argue with them. There was no, like, young men who were dating able. So they would go outside of the church or whatever. So I guess what you really have to ask yourself is, how important is it to you, your relationship with God? How important is it that that person also has a relationship with God and how they live it? Now, what happened, let's take a friend of mine, true story. A friend of mine did the same thing. She couldn't find nobody in the church, found a guy who wasn't necessarily doing wrong, married him. Right? They both weren't, you know, kind of living right. And then she got her life together. They got married. He never got his life together. So they end up having problems. He still used drugs, you know, smoked a little weed here and there. He cussed, you know. He was a pretty good dad, but he cussed. And then he eventually got into some trouble with the law and cheated on her, and they got divorced. Now, was that because he wasn't saved? Not necessarily, because that happens a lot of time in Christian relationships. But my point is, he never became a man of God like she wanted him to be. And she knew that. She made that choice. She prayed for him to come to church. He came for a little while, and then he left, you know. So her problem was she wanted to get him to become a man of God, and he never did, at least during their relationship. So that's the risk that you're going to run. And how important is that to you, you know? Because some people, their relationship with their spouse isn't necessarily their relationship with you know, God. They separate the two. Now, another problem people run into is they expect their husband to be the man of the house and you know, the leader, and submit themselves to God. Well, if he doesn't follow biblical principles or follow God, then you can't expect him to be the leader as far as the church goes, you know, God, husband, wife. You know, that doesn't mean he's going to be a bad person or a bad husband or anything like that. It's just you can't apply principles that he doesn't believe in to his life. He's going to live the way he wants to live. So basically, I said all that to say, it depends on what's most important to you. I hope I helped you. I feel like I was all over the place, but there's just so many different factors, you know, that go into the dating game when you're picking somebody who may or may not be saved. All right, thank you for your questions. If you have any questions, send them to your boy, KevOnStage@gmail.com. I'll do my best to answer them. Every Monday through Friday, you'll expect an answer here, and I'll be there. Be patient with me if you send a question. I've got a lot. Doesn't mean I'm not going to get to you, just might not be the same day or year, because these questions right now are from September 27, 2012. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? It's Kev on Stage. Go and subscribe to my YouTube page, and don't you be